Thank you very much. How's everybody doing this morning? Thank you so much for being here. I am very excited, not in the least bit because it's the beginning of football, sweater weather, and soup season, but really because this is a bit of a script flipping for me. Usually I'm the one, curating these programs with my team, behind the scenes, working with Amanda and our client success counterparts to make sure all the speakers are here. So when Mark and Jared invited me to actually take the stage and speak, I immediately said yes. Of course, I had no idea what I was going to talk about, but I said yes right away. And if you know me, that's a little bit of a microcosm of how I operate. Say yes first, figure it out later. Just sort of a mantra that I love and live by. But I did think about it, and I thought, what can I convey? What should I convey in these few minutes? And I kind of settled on this idea, well, I want to share what I do every day and what my team does every day. And you heard Jared mention it, right? We are the content team, but we are also the community team. And for me to talk about what I do and what we do, it's really about that intersection, right? It's not the content team or the community team. It's content and community. And that intersection of the two is really what lies at the heart of everything that we try to do and we try to achieve. So, what do I mean by this? So, first off, if you're familiar with our events, if you've been to our programming, you know that the pendulum does swing right back and forth. We have plenty of content-driven events around the country like this, but that cover a whole myriad of important industry topics. We have full-day summits. We have virtual live casts. We have private roundtables, right? We're creating and producing a lot of content for the industry. But on the flip side, we also have a lot of community-driven activations. We have VIP dinners. We have sunset cruises on the Hudson aboard the Arabella. We have suites with MetLife Stadium and SoFi Stadium, and we do Porsche test driving experiences and BMW Performance Center experiences, right? So, but regardless of the form factor, I would say, content and community is really at the heart of everything. So some examples that I love. A few years ago, we produced a women's leadership roundtable and panel discussion at Cannes. And I was talking to one of those participants earlier this year. This was a number of years ago, pre-COVID. And she was telling me that not only did these women bond so closely at on this panel that they hung out together for the duration of Cannes, but they actually formed a WhatsApp group that has been active and alive cross-country, internationally for the years since then. And they've built their own little community that kind of sparked at that roundtable that we put together. Then on the flip side, you have some of our experiential, community-driven activations. Like I mentioned, we do the suites at SoFi Stadium, at MetLife Stadium, and you'd be very surprised how quickly the marketer trash talk, your team sucks, my team's going to win, the trash talk very quickly evolves into shop talk, right? And hey, by the way, what vendor are you using to figure this out, right? Oh, how do you get your boss to buy in to this idea? How are you attracting younger employees, right? Those tips and tricks and best practices, right? The trash talk to talk shop pipeline is very quick, right? So those, and of course, there's maybe my favorite personal example you'll hear in a little bit from David Feeman at LG on one of our panels this afternoon, who actually went to high school and elementary school with me. So, just a little bit of an outlier, but another phenomenal element of where those content and community lines cross over. But really, what it's all about at the end of the day is that intersection, right? Content breeds community and community breeds content. And that's because the content, and I know I'm saying these words a lot, that is, that education, that inspiration is only as good as the source that it's coming from, right? So for the community that we're building, that source is the peer, the counterpart. We want to bring marketers together to learn from other marketers who are in their shoes, who speak their language, who see the same problems and face the same challenges, who are excited about the same opportunities, the same trends, who are navigating the same new technologies and consumer behaviors, right? Because what better source than your counterpart at these other brands, right? So that's sort of how we think about those boundaries and the content and community intersection, right? They breed one another. And that is why you see at our events, CMOs come to learn from other CMOs. Heads of media want to be here to learn from other heads of media, heads of digital, e-commerce, retail, content marketing. They want to be here because they know their counterparts are going to be here. They know that their best of breed peers are going to be here to share those best practices where they can learn from one another. Right? So that's what my team sets out to do every day. How can we create that peer-to-peer forum where these marketers can come to share with and learn from one another? And at the end of the day, that's what it's about for me and for my team, is that peer-to-peer exchange. Now, of course, that's only one piece of the puzzle. There is another very large and important community at Brand Innovators that I know Lauren is going to talk about later, and that's all of you, because these marketers need our ecosystem on partners who can help them get their message crafted and amplified to the right people, and the technology to make everything they do smarter and more efficient. But that's their job. My job is to bring the marketers together so they can figure things out together. Because if you know anything about this industry, and I think you guys know a lot more about this industry than I do, it's that things change every day. And the marketers that I talk to are playing a constant game of, how can I figure out this next thing? How can I build out my marketing organization and my team to account for another specialty, another discipline, another media? It's, TikTok today, but the metaverse today and tomorrow, and NFTs and something, right? It's something else every day that they have to account for. And it's an impossible task for them to figure it out all by themselves. So our goal is, if we bring the right people together, whether it's at a full day program or whether it's a sunset cruise on the Arabella, they are going to help each other out. So that's our mandate. I would say, from an editorial perspective, from the content and community team perspective. How can we get the right people together to help each other at the end of the day? So with that, I'm going to tee up, I believe we have a video from our Cannes activation that I'd like to leave you with. And I promise I wasn't tweeting during this talk, I was just checking my notes. But I'm going to tee that up, and then I think we have a little bit of a networking break after. All right, thank you so much.
Brand Innovators is producing our annual Brand Innovators Marketing Leadership Summit.
First time in 3 years, it's amazing. The energy is magnetic. The spirit of creativity is alive and well.
We believe so strongly in the value of relationships and connections when they happen face to face.
I've already run into 1 million friends, colleagues across the industry, and the energy is really high. I think people are really excited to be back here in person.
Look, we've done really well during the pandemic, adapting and adopting, but the reality is there's just no replacement for in-person connections.
I come to places like this, and I come to Cannes specifically to be with some of the senior decision makers and leaders in the space of advertising, marketing, entertainment, and content.
I think it may be the only organization that has a sense of family when they bring a big marketing community together that spans clients, ad tech, media, agencies, brand marketers, everybody.
We hosted over 400 senior brand marketers from Fortune 500 and other leading brands at the Monaco Yacht Club on Monday night. And tonight we're excited about our Brand Innovators VIP dinner at the Hotel du Cap Eden Rock.
What I love about Cannes is it's in its purest form, it's a celebration of creativity and the idea that creativity can change the world and make an impact if unleashed properly.
I'm taken by how deeply personal the work has come to all these marketers. They think deeply about what they're doing. It's not just about snatching up awards here. It's really about being very thoughtful about their brands, about their role in society, about the responsibilities of their brands and their efforts.
I love speaking because I have a chance to come off stage, and then it's person after person after person. I try to stay until the very end of the line of people who are willing to even talk to me. And events like this represent that.
In marketing, you've got to always stay up with what's going on and finding new ways to connect with the end consumer, and the best and the brightest are here telling things.
I come out of here with 1,000 ideas. My team, probably hates me for the 1 million emails I send with all the ideas that I come back with, but it's just inspiring to hear what other people are doing and apply it to our own business.
I think getting access to such forward thinking and different perspectives in the industry is amazing. Plus, you'll end up meeting people that you can work with for years to come, which is always pretty exciting.
Cannes reminded us how important it is to congregate get together in person and share with each other our thoughts, our ideas, our aspirations in terms of where the marketing and media industry is going.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Isn't it great to be back in Monaco?
Awesome. So before we head out to break, I just realized I didn't ask, but does anybody have any questions for me about how our content and community team operates or anything like that? I will be out there. If you do want to talk to me, ask me any questions, I'm here. But if you don't, then we have a networking break, and we'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes. All right. Thank you so much.